And we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Roberto Blake coming to you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be doing a deep dive and just give you some advice on what to do if you're stuck as a small YouTuber. If you're a creator who has been trying to grow on YouTube for a while now, you feel stuck, you are not where you would like to be, which is not necessarily going viral, but just even being a potentially full-time creator. Maybe you're stuck and you're still not monetized. Maybe you're under 10,000, 20,000 subscribers. Again, if you're just not where you want to be, then you're in the right place. You're here on this stream or watching the replay. So what I'm going to attempt to do, and I'm just going to do the best that I can here. What I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to try to give you some perspective on your journey as a YouTube creator. I'm going to try to break this down as best as I can. I'm going to share some data and some statistics for you. We're going to go over this by the numbers. I'm going to answer some of your questions. We'll pop them up on stream here. We're doing a late night edition. So something I'm doing is myself. I'm going back to my roots. I reached my YouTube goals a long time ago. I'm an OG YouTuber. I've been doing this for a pretty long time. My only goal with YouTube was to get to 100,000 subscribers. And I did that in 2016. I started taking YouTube seriously. I hadn't been uploading content for a very long time, for years and years. I wasn't really a creator. I can show you the stats. I have the data. I am happy to always pull that up on screen. We do that quite a lot here. If I go back to the lifetime, well, what I want to do is here, I do want to share the analytics from that video there because that's actually a really good example. But what I'll do is I'm going to go to my analytics and we're going to pull my lifetime analytics because I want to show you something. We're going to pull my lifetime analytics. The reason I like pulling up my lifetime analytics is it's a really good screenshot at the journey of being a creator. So I did not have like an audience. I started my channel in 2009 and I didn't upload hardly anything. And I also didn't have an audience. I didn't have any subscribers. If you look at this, I didn't have any subscribers because I wasn't doing anything. I didn't start doing anything with YouTube until the summer of 2013. So in like the summer of 2013 is when I started getting any subscribers. If you see me here scrolling here. And so I slowly started gaining traction and I really put in the work in 2014, 2015, and 2016. And I got to 100,000 subscribers in 3 years of hard work. I had to make 800 videos to make that happen. I had to make 800 videos to get to 100,000 subscribers. I want to put something in perspective for you too. Mr. Beast had to make 460 videos to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So a lot of you, what you're really doing is you're not giving yourself a fair shot. Because for a lot of you, most of you haven't even uploaded 100 videos yet if you're watching this. And you're giving yourself a hard time. Mr. Beast's first 100 videos, he didn't even have 1,000 subscribers. He had about 600, 700 subscribers. MKBHD has 19 million subscribers. He got 78 subscribers out of his first 100 videos. PewDiePie, who used to be the world's biggest YouTuber, he only got 2,500 subscribers out of his first 100 videos. I've documented the history of YouTube and content creation, and I'm here to tell you that the truth is, and I've studied this because I've pulled the data from Social Blade across the biggest channels in YouTube in every single one of the 15 categories of YouTube: automotive, animals and pets, people and blogs, entertainment, DIY and how-to. I've pulled all 15 categories. I've done a deep dive on the top 100 and top 500 channels, and I averaged the number of uploads that it takes in every category for the biggest channels on YouTube. And the average we came out to for that was between, depending on the category, 500 to 700 uploads. Okay? 500, 700 uploads to be successful. And then with anonymized data from a case study that we did a couple of years ago with Tubebuddy, I pulled the data on that and the number of uploads to succeed on YouTube. I'm going to play you the animation of the video. Looky there. Look at that. So yeah, as you can see, hundreds of uploads for every YouTube milestone you can think of. So it really does come down to putting in the work over a number of years. You want to know how long it takes? On average, for any milestone you can think of, 7 years. 7 years for most creators. This study was done with 7 years. This study was done with the anonymous data of over 3 million channels by Tubebuddy. This study was done in 2020. Sure, that was before the pandemic and before YouTube Shorts. As far as I'm concerned, doing it before YouTube Shorts makes it more accurate. YouTube Shorts and channels blowing up makes people think things happen faster than they do. For long form content, it's still a grind. It's still a grind. And that's a lot. Ryan Troy says, you got 1K in 5 months. Congratulations. You grew your channel faster than Mr. Beast did. It took him almost 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. It took Mr. Beast almost 3 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. So it's a grind. Hey, Romina said, goal is to hit my 100th video this year with the new channel by October. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. So again, this is all a grind. And I can show you like how insane of a grind it actually is. Because when I look at the lifetime stuff for my channel, and if I sort by like date, okay? So I've done this before. So I'm letting YouTube load this up. It's going to be probably a little sluggish here because it's a lot of data for my lifetime data. So maybe I have to give it a minute here. There's so much data that we can go through in here. So just bear with me, y'all. There we go. Okay. So we have my channel by date. And right now we have views by date. I don't want views by date, though. What I want, I can probably sort the data here. Is I'll sort these into years. And we're going to add number of subscribers. We're going to add the number of videos added. There will be a glitch in there, by the way, for videos added, because I did not add 1,500 videos in 2018. What happened was all my videos were unpublished in a glitch and then republished. So if I sort by date here, what you're going to see is there's a direct correlation between the videos, the number of videos by date here. And then I'm going to show you another metric because the one you care about is subscribers. So if you look at this on the yearly, what if I even break this up into the monthly over the lifetime of my channel? Subscribers. Yeah. Okay. So look at this. And no, we don't want views by date. We want videos. Yeah. All right, so yeah, if we go with videos published by date, okay, I didn't hardly have any videos when I started. So in 2013, when I started doing uploads, you can see this. Look at all these videos I had to publish, and then look what happened. As I published more videos, I got more subscribers by every metric. This is the truth about publishing. And most of you will never make viral videos. You will never make bangers. And that's not to discourage you. You will not make viral videos. I did not make viral videos. I did not make viral videos and get popped off and noticed in the algorithm. All I did was a good old-fashioned thing that, and I'm not a gamer in the YouTube sense. I'm a gamer as in I'm an OG gamer. Shout out to everyone who played original World of Warcraft. Shout out to everyone who played StarCraft, Command and Conquer. Shout out to everybody who played the original Metal Gear. But yeah, the grind, all I did was grind. All I did was just keep on pumping, keep on churning. And that's what grew me the most. And in the months that I grinded and published the most is usually when I got the most subscribers. And you can see the data. The data doesn't lie, my friends. The data doesn't lie. Anytime that I grinded, I was rewarded. That's what worked. It took a while to build that momentum, to build that traction. But the truth is, that's what's going to do it. Now, you can't just post to post and you can't just put out garbage. But the thing is, as you put out content, you will improve. Most small creators cannot do quality over quantity. They want to. They want to make the videos, the quality of the videos that they watch and the ones that they admire. But it doesn't work that way. And I'm going to teach you all a gaming analogy with regard to StarCraft that makes my point. The reason that it takes uploading a lot more videos than you think to be successful is because if you guys have played StarCraft or any other game that had you have to get resources to build units, if you played any real-time strategy game where you have to build like miners and you have to build grunts that go out and get you resources so you can buy bigger units and upgrades, then guess what? You understand that in the beginning when you have no resources, it is quantity over quality in the beginning because you have no resources. So you need guys. You need a lot of guys. You got to go out, get resources. Go out, get resources. Bring more resources home. You build more guys. They go out and get you more resources. Build more. Then once you have resources to spend, you're able to get big units and upgrades, and then you're able to go to war, and that's how it works. If you've never played StarCraft, you should check it out. It's a really good game. Real-time strategy games teach you that you have to grind and get resources. For those of you, okay, maybe you're not a StarCraft nerd. Pokemon. Most of you played Pokemon. When you're a beginning Pokemon trainer, there's no quality over quantity. You have to grind, and you have to go and capture early stage weak Pokemon, and you need more than one Pokemon. You can't just level up Pikachu or Charmander. You need multiple Pokemon because if one of them gets weak or faints and falls off, you need another Pokemon, or you faint and the game is over and you have to start from scratch. So you do need more. And so you have to look at YouTube strategy, just like game theory and game mechanics, because YouTube is essentially a giant video game. YouTube's a video game. So the thing is, we can just grind and min-max. And again, you can get to quality later, but you need quantity to acquire the resources to go to, you need quantity to acquire resources and go to quality. So what do I mean by that? By making a bunch of videos up front, I had a bunch of videos, and every one of those videos could go out and be part of an army of videos that could bring me new subscribers. Which is why when you see here, and we sort by the videos, the amount of videos I published, and you see that for the most part, the more videos I published, or at least publishing consistent videos, daily videos, no matter how many views I did in a month, I could still just get and amass a large amount of subscribers by posting more videos, because individual videos could underperform, but as a collective, they would bring in numbers. So the thing is, by having more videos, I had an army of videos, and I had hundreds of videos that could each go out, and these hundreds of videos could go and get me $1 each a day. You see? Because if I'm getting paid by per 1,000 views, and I had hundreds of videos that could go out and make me money, they could go and get me 50 cents, get me $1, get me $5, get me $10. And so I had all these videos at my disposal to go out and make me money on a daily basis, because I kept uploading new ones and building up my army and shoring up my resources. So that was something that just helped me. And every video that I had could go out and bring me 1 or 2 or 10 new subscribers. And so because I had that under my belt, it was easy to amass more subscribers over time. And that's what helped me. And so when you see this, it's why grinding just worked so well for me. And sure, at first I was uploading videos and not getting a lot of subscribers for uploading all those videos. But eventually it got to the point to where it was getting me thousands of new subscribers a month. And then you could see how I could get to 100,000 because, okay, that month, one of those early months, yeah, I only got 300 subscribers. But then because I had more videos, another month I got 600. And then another month, 800. Then another month, it was 1,000 subscribers. And then because there were just more videos to work for me, it was 2,000, then 3,000. And then more and more of these subscribers over time, because as I uploaded more videos, I had more videos to fight for me and to win over those subscribers and bring me an audience. And so more videos just kept going. And I would say that it was a snowball effect that became a little bit of an avalanche. And so it snowballed into an avalanche on pure momentum. No viral videos, no, fantastic view floor, just sheer weight of numbers. On a long enough timeline, my friends, everything falls to the weight of big numbers on a long enough timeline. So that's something that I use to my advantage. It is a tried and true strategy. It's brute force and overwhelming numbers. So in my lifetime on YouTube, I've made, according to this, 1,708 videos. And that got me 617,000 subscribers, well over 500,000 subscribers. And it got me 42 million views. And some people wouldn't find that impressive. And if you do the math calculations, though, and they're like, you have this big channel, but you only get this many views and your view to sub ratio sucks. But the thing is, it's actually not as cut and dry and all that, because I can run some math for you. And the math says that if you average my uploads, some of which are also just members only uploads, to be honest with you. But if you average my uploads against my views, it means my average amount of views is 24,000 per upload. Now, that may not always seem like it's consistent or this, because some videos do very well, some videos do very poorly. What are you going to do? That's YouTube for you. But the thing is, about 400 videos of those videos are private, so they don't count toward the actual view count, really. So if I really divide it by about the 1,300 that are public, view floor is closer to about 30,000, which is fine for a channel that's educational and not entertainment for my size. But the real kicker, though, is, well, wait a minute. I got 1.5% of those views to become subscribers, which is actually more impressive than worrying about my view to subscriber ratio per upload. It's actually more impressive that I converted a lot of those people to be subscribers, because to get the amount of subscribers I have, most creators have to make 60 million to 100 million views. So the thing is, I got more subscribers with less views than most creators. And so that's something that you can do. Now, the funny thing about all of this, by the way, is that as much as people preach quality over quantity, it's the least proven, least effective strategy in all of YouTube, because it only works for outliers and people who usually had more money, more resources, and some kind of undisclosed advantage. And the thing is, my method of just using sheer brute force and improving by 1% with every upload is the most proven, reliable method to grow in YouTube. So for anyone who's stuck, the thing is that you might want to consider is, one, how much have you improved with each and every upload? Is every upload you're doing an opportunity you've used to improve something about a video? Did you incorporate better storytelling, better editing, better thumbnails, better speech, better delivery, better audio? Did you improve? Because 1,000 uploads is a lot of opportunities to improve. If you even grow by 1% every time and you do 1,000 uploads, by sheer weight of numbers, you should be much better. And you should become an above average creator just from the sheer amount of executions. If you're not trying to improve and you're only posting to say you posted or just to show up, then it's not really moving the needle in terms of improvement. This is not a lottery that you're playing every day. This is going into the gym and getting reps in. Now, like I said, when you upload a video, that video is the opportunity to get views and to get subscribers and to make money. So every video is a soldier in your army that works for every one of the stats you want to accomplish. Every video that I uploaded without fail got me some subscribers. Every video that I upload without fail got me some views. Every video that I upload without fail got me some watch time. And every video that I upload without fail made me some kind of money. Every video is a soldier in your army working to achieve your goals. Battles aren't typically won by just having less soldiers than the other guy, you know. So what I would tell a lot of you is that if you are consistent long enough and consistently improving, and you look at your videos from a resource standpoint instead of a vanity and ego standpoint, you can literally play YouTube like a video game and play it by the numbers. You just have to sometimes take your emotions out of it. So Street News now says, where can I find the list of top 15 categories that you mentioned? It's not about top 15 categories. It's that there are 15 category verticals in YouTube. So when it says, hey, what's your YouTube category? Are you education? Are you animation? Are you people in blogs? That's all it is. It's those YouTube categories. And those categories aren't about what your niche is. They're about how they sort you for advertising verticals. And the list of them is in Social Blade, and they organize YouTube top list based on that, saying, here's the top 500 channels in this category. Here's the top 500 channels in this category. Those categories exist for advertisers more than they do for creators, which is why creators don't really take it seriously. It used to be called farming until the negative connotations came along. Yeah, it does, but that's also a game analogy in terms of the farming. The farming is a game analogy. So the thing is, there's nothing wrong with farming, in my opinion. People make it negative, but that's also people pushing their emotions and a more artistic view of all of this, which I understand where they're coming from, to be honest, but I like reducing it to a numbers game because art is subjective, numbers are not. Quality is subjective, quantity isn't. Quality is subjective, quantity isn't. It is undeniable, which is why I also like this from an education standpoint. You can't tell me that I didn't learn a lot by uploading almost 2,000 videos. You can't tell me that I didn't learn above average levels of things by uploading. There's a chance that even if someone has more subscribers than me, if I uploaded 10 times as many videos as them, there is a chance that I understand some things that they may not. If I've edited, which I have, by the way, edited all these videos by myself for the most part, then there's a lot of things I know that other people might not know just from experience, which means in my case, I learned to be efficient. Remember, I did learn. I'm not just saying all this to humble brag. I'm using this to make a point to teach all of you something very important that took me a long time to learn, and I could have learned this sooner if a big YouTuber had admitted it and told me. Number one, there is a limit to being a solo content creator. Most YouTubers that have 1 million subscribers, they didn't do it on their own. They were not a solo content creator. They ended up getting an editor. They ended up getting someone to help them with thumbnails. They ended up getting some kind of help. They got someone to help them film. Most of the YouTubers who have 1 million subscribers and all of the YouTubers that get massive amount of views, the overwhelming majority of them, and I'm not talking about shorts, are not solo content creators. So as much as there's a lot of this genius attributed to them being big YouTubers, they're really the beneficiaries of the talent of the team that they built. I'm not trying to take away from them and say that they take no responsibility or credit, but the reason most of them couldn't grow until they got a team is because there was a limit to what they could do on their own with the talent that they had and the time and energy that they had. You don't get to make those banger videos working by yourself. Those banger videos are 100 to 200 hours of effort, and that 100 to 200 hours of effort comes from a team A solo creator is not likely to be able to compete with someone with the team's energy, the team's expertise, and the team's resources. So a lot of you watching this as smaller content creators are comparing yourself to people who have teams. You have 10 hours a week after you get off your 9-to-5 job to make a piece of content, and this person has 4 or 5 people working around the clock, and it's 200 hours behind their video, and there's 10 to 20 hours behind yours. Of course their video gets more views than yours, or mine, for that fact of the matter. That's the key, and that's something people do not understand. Even then, the quantity of sheer numbers of the effort of their team is winning. Quantity is winning there. And the thing is, it's hard to get or find a team, because to get and find a team, you need resources, you need money, and most people don't go viral, and most people's 9-to-5 job doesn't finance that. So a lot of the big YouTubers that get these big things, so here's a couple of things that has to happen. One, if they start out as a small YouTuber. If they're an ordinary person, then they start out as a small YouTuber just like you and me. As much as they might preach quality over quantity now because that's what they like to make, they had to do grind mode just like the rest of us peasants when they first started, because they were broke, which means that they had to upload videos to make money because they were eating off of their 9-to-5 job, couldn't invest that into their YouTube channel, and so they had to make money off of YouTube in order to be able to grow their channel and put resources back in. The only way to do that is with a quantity of uploads, so those videos can go out and earn $5 or $10 a month each, and then a couple hundred videos gets you to your first $1,000, so that you can go buy camera gear and microphones, or hire a thumbnail artist, or hire an editor, because your 9-to-5 job is paying the bills. That's what being a working class content creator is. So if someone's a working class content creator and they became a big YouTuber, they had to start with grinding and quantity and putting out a lot of content first. And that's why it either takes a couple of years, or they went daily and they sprinted, or they uploaded 3 to 5 times a week and they sprinted. And when they're doing that, the quality will not be as good as if they could take more time on these videos. But with compounding and building up that compound interest, they were able to get into a position. And eventually they were able to get into a position to leave their 9-to-5 job. The smart ones hired the editor first instead of quitting their job. And then they were able to get more views, make more money. And then it made sense to leave their job, because now they could pay for themselves and their editor. And now they had more time for themselves. They had the time, their editor. They were able to leverage time and money. Now, a lot of YouTubers that don't want to admit this, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, they don't start out as working class content creators like the rest of us. So what they end up doing is, a lot of them, the reason that they can go and some of them start out with better quality than the rest of us is, some of them, they have great and wonderful parents that will finance their dream and say, okay, you did really good in school, you've been well behaved, you didn't cause me any problems, you want to start a YouTube channel? I'll give you some time and money and resources, and you can try and start a YouTube channel. Hey, you've been doing really good. You know what? You want to take off a year from college? You want to pursue this thing? Okay, we'll give you a year to see what happens. There are plenty of YouTubers that the only reason they're big YouTubers today is because when they were in their 20s, their parents let them try, because their parents also knew if it didn't work out, that college would always be there. And they had parents who had the financial resources to say, hey, worst thing happens is YouTube doesn't work out, college doesn't work out. They could go work for mommy and daddy's friends. They could go work for one of the friends at the country club. They could go back to a posh house in the summers. There is a such thing as people just having better circumstances than others. People with really good circumstances, not every one of them will be a successful YouTuber, but it does drastically increase their odds, and it lets them take more risk than the rest of us. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make it as a working class creator. It just might take longer, because you just have more responsibilities and less resources than that. And that's okay. That's why I'm honest about it. And I tell people 5 to 7 years of being consistent is what's going to usually be the case. I'm just straight up about it. I don't sell you a pipe dream. I tell you, it will be a grind. Quality over quantity is probably not going to work at the start, because you can't make the math work because of your 9-to-5 job. You can't. Some people might have a situation, though, like during the pandemic, where they get a couple of weeks break and then they're able to break out and maybe they get to hit the ground running, and that can change their situation. But typically, most people just have the scraps of energy after working a 9-to-5 job, and then they're making content with those leftover scraps of energy. They don't have a lot of time to put in. They don't have a lot of money to put in. You need time and money. So yeah, so it makes a difference. We got Avel E. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. He says, Roberto, you keep me going, bro. Thanks for your advice. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I can answer questions. If you guys have questions, you can leave them in the chat. We leave these live streams up, and I'm happy to share any data. Sam G says, what about the CPM for the different niches? I actually did a video about that I released yesterday, and I released a video where I break down 9 of the most profitable niches on YouTube. So either late tonight, if you still are up for it, or first thing in the morning, you can go to my channel. It's one of the latest videos on my channel. You can watch that video. It's about 13 minutes long, and I cover 9 of the most profitable niches in YouTube. I tell you the RPMs and the ranges for those. And I was actually able to put together these numbers because what I did was something different. A bunch of you for the last couple of weeks have been sending me DMs with your CPMs and your RPMs and how much money you're making on your channels, and you told me what niche you're in. So I was able to take those screenshots, and then I was able to put them into my spreadsheet, and I was able to run the averages and the ranges. And so what I did was I made a video about 9 of the most profitable niches in YouTube with the data that all of you have been sending me on Twitter. And my DMs are open on Twitter. If you want to send me screenshots of your CPMs and RPMs and tell you what niches you're in, I can add it to my spreadsheet. I'm collecting a bunch of this data. The more data I get, the better. So thank you to everybody who's sending me that. Make sure you're following me over in Twitter at Roberto Blake. But with this data, I was able to compile that. If you guys keep sending me data, eventually what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to make a video breaking down the RPMs for 30 to 50 different niches in YouTube all at once. It's a video I'd love to do and that I've been working on for a while, but I need to collect more data. Because what I want is for each of these niches, I want to have somewhere between 5 and 10 channels for all these different niches. So if I'm going to break down 30 to 50 niches, I'm going to need hundreds of pieces of data to be able to get accurate ranges for the averages. So I need a bigger sample size. So keep those DMs coming with your screenshots of and what your niche is and what your channel is, because that will help me verify those claims. And that will help with making sure that's accurate as possible as we can be, which is why we're going to use ranges, and we'll try to be conservative with those ranges. What I tend to do is I take the average number, and then I take the average also. I take the average number overall, then I use the average of the 2 lowest numbers I was given to create the bottom range, and then that's how I create the ranges. But when I have more data, but that's only because people only send me, like, I only end up with 5 channels in the same niche or something. Sometimes I'm very fortunate and I'll get like 7 or 8. But if I have 10 or more channels in the same niche, then I'm able to get a more accurate range doing this. But yeah, so yeah, if you just keep on going consistently, instead of chasing bangers, you can just build up momentum by having more videos act as soldiers in your army that are able to go. Because here's the thing. I'll tell you a secret to the structure of gaining views in YouTube over a long period of time. Well, not views. Sorry, not views. Subscribers. Because I can break down the math on it. I'll break down the math on it. Here's what I came up with, and I ran something around this when I checked something on my own data, but then I also ran this against ChatGPT, and then I checked this around some small YouTuber channels, and this has worked. If you only set a goal modestly as a smaller YouTuber to get going early on, and you feel stuck, What if you did whatever you had to get 10 to 30 new subscribers every day, legit subscribers? Are you doing everything you can think of to get 10 to 30 people to want to subscribe to your channel every single day? Because if you're growing even a little bit every single day, if it's 10 to 30 subscribers every single day, then in a year, you can move the needle and grow by another 3,000 to 10,000 subscribers in a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in 2 to 3 years, that gets you more than 1/3, if not 1/4 of a way to 100,000 subscribers. If you can get over the hump of getting 30 subscribers a day, and you can get to 50 to 100 subscribers a day, then you're going to end up getting about 16,000 to 30,000 new subscribers in a year. If you did that over and over, you have 3 to 5 years from doing that until you have 100,000 subscribers. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It is just math. The simplest way to ensure that you're going to be able to get more subscribers on a daily basis. I'm not telling you to make daily content, which is what I'm doing this month in August, like a lunatic, which means I'm either uploading or streaming. I'm doing one of them, if not both. So 31 videos in August, come hell or high water, one way or another. 31 videos in August. That's what I said I was going to do. So I'm going to have to do it now. What would happen is, if you are making videos for one audience, not a bunch of different types of people, one audience, one group of people, and you're only making things that those groups of people would care about, then what would happen is you have a stronger chance in proportion to the amount of videos that you're making to getting to a place to where you can get 10, 30, 50, then 100 subscribers a day. If you have enough content that those people like, and it's one group of people you're catering to, and you have multiples of these videos, and they're all evergreen videos instead of you chasing trends and news events and news topics and trend jacking to try to get that easy low-hanging fruit like everyone else. If you're making good videos that are good audio, if you're on camera, good lighting and good camera, good delivery, good performance, good speech, you work on your ability to perform. If you need to do the research, you're doing good research, you're doing good script writing, or at least good outlining. Or if you're like me, you'll write an essay about something, and then now you've done your research, you've written essays about it, now you have it in your head, now you know how to articulate it, now you can make an outline or bullet points, you have the story that you want to tell and the stats that you want to tie to the story, and then you can go boom, 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 and you can do it. Then if you're like that, you can make those videos, you can make more. If you can make good videos that are valuable to the viewers you're trying to reach, that target audience, that audience avatar, that one group of people you serve, and you're giving them value, and you're packaging that value well with a good topic that they care about, a good title that reaches them emotionally. Do not be lukewarm on your titles. Give value in the title. A thumbnail that is too interesting or too good or too attractive to ignore. You know what? If you're not the most attractive person, maybe you're not the face of the thumbnail. Maybe there's something more interesting and more attractive to put in the thumbnail than you. Odds are, just saying. If you can make the thumbnail visually attractive, if you can make the thumbnail interesting at a glance, if you can make it bold and eye-catching, and if you could throw an element of status or social proof, you can pass what I teach people in Awesome Creator Academy, what I teach every one of my clients is your thumbnail must pass the vibes check. The vibes check. Is it visually attractive at a glance? Is it interesting at a glance? Is it bold? Is it eye-catching? And does it have social proof or status conveyed in the thumbnail that tells a story? Boom. The vibes check. So does it do that? That's packaging it for value. Okay. We have to have a good emotionally triggering title. Your title cannot be lukewarm. If your title is not delivering, here's a result that you can get, or if it's not, here's a result you can get. Here's this weird, interesting thing. Too weird to be true, too good to be true, or it's not emotionally triggering people. Rewrite the title. Rewrite the title until it's too interesting to ignore. Too in your face. people have to feel something about that, and they have to either feel something or be promised something. Okay? My favorite tool for my favorite framework that I teach, it's not the only one. My favorite framework that I teach for writing titles is ambition versus anxiety. This title either speaks to me and calls to my ambition and my desire to get something, or it plays on my anxiety and my worst fears that I imagine. Again, sounds terrible, but that works. We're human beings. It's always worked. Here's this bad thing that's going to happen. Or here's this great thing that you can accomplish. So ambition versus anxiety framing. So write a great title. Okay. A quality video, once you're past the title and thumbnail and the topic, it's got to be relevant to people. So either you have to take advantage of timing with a trend, or you're taking advantage of timing and saying, this will not go out of style. This will be everlasting. So something's either trending or it's evergreen. Pick one. Or it's seasonal. It's either trending, seasonal, or evergreen. Pick one. I prefer evergreen because I want to farm and milk those views forever. So I'd rather have that than do a trending news topic and have the video be dead in 2 days or a week, or have to issue a correction that no one will watch. So I'd rather not bother with a news topic or trends personally. I want something that's everlasting because I want to eat off of it forever. Then you got to have a good opener. You got to have a hook. You got to have attention. You have a good delivery. How you open is how you close. So you got to open a video strong. If you open weak, everyone's going to assume you end weak instead of building up momentum. So open strong in your video. Start strong, finish strong. It's that simple. Even in the edits, the best thing you can do with the edit is do a sandwich edit. Edit the first 90 seconds of the video first, then edit the last 90 seconds of the video so that ends as strong as it started. Then edit the first third of the video and edit the last third of the video. And then the last thing you edit is basically the middle part of your video. That's how you start strong and finish strong, even from an editing standpoint. If you want to do retention-based editing, I recommend doing the most editing at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, and then coming back to it and trying not to be exhausted in the middle and the messy middle, and then work on that. If you do that, then the video doesn't decline in energy completely over the time of the video. And so you're getting closer and closer to a consistent video that keeps the same energy. All right? So that becomes important. Big creator energy. Don't be lazy with your thumbnails. Don't be lazy with your channel artwork just because you're a small YouTuber. Refuse to put out a thumbnail that wouldn't look good next to someone in your niche who has 100,000 or 1 million subscribers. Big creator energy. You can start with what you have. You can make a thumbnail like that if you have Canva for $0. You can make a thumbnail like that if you have GIMP for $0. You can do that with Affinity Photo for $60. And by the way, I don't have Photoshop. Photoshop's $10 a month. Big creator energy. $10 a month. You can find $10 a month. Hustle. If you're like, I don't have Photoshop, I can't compete with a big YouTuber. It's $10 a month. Suck it up, Buttercup. $10. Find it. Sorry. Yeah. So that's real. Okay. As far as your editing software, you can use free software. I don't care if you use CapCut. You can use DaVinci Resolve. I'm an Adobe guy. You don't have to spend $60 on Creative Cloud. It's not going to bother me. You can edit with free software. DaVinci Resolve is great. CapCut is good despite the fact that it's owned by China. So just use what you can for a video editing tool. I'm not going to recommend iMovie. There are better things, and it holds you back to use iMovie. You can use things that are $0 that are really good, like DaVinci Resolve. Okay? So I don't care what you edit in as long as the editing's good, as long as you learn how to use it properly. But for thumbnails, I'm not messing around. Use Photoshop or Canva. Don't use I can't afford it as an excuse, because Photoshop is $10. You want to make money off YouTube. You can spend $10 a month. 2 less Starbucks coffees. 30 cents a day. So make good thumbnails. Do not make lazy thumbnails. Make good channel banner artwork. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So bring big creator energy. $0 thing that you have to improve is your ability to deliver and to speak well. Unless you're doing a voiceless channel somehow, then again, bring big creator energy, bring confidence. Now that's going to take you uploading more videos or practicing by doing Instagram stories or reels or something. You're going to have to practice your ability to deliver on camera and not feel like a damn lunatic. Hi, Roberto. How are you? Been watching your videos since 2016, but would like to know how to start another YouTube channel using the same phone. So it's not like TikTok. You can just use one phone, one email address, and have multiple YouTube channels. It's not like TikTok. Having one phone doesn't affect you having multiple YouTube channels. Nightcore Chase says, I work 2 jobs IRL and only have Sundays off, so it was hard to make content, and that you did that for 3 years. Yeah, man, it's a grind. It's an absolute grind. Guitar Meets Science says, I like the soldiers analogy. That's spot on. Yeah, every single video that you upload is a soldier in your army, and its job is to go get you views, get you subscribers, and make you money, and to build your audience. It's rallying support for your cause. So the thing is, that's why I don't believe in the quality over quantity, because it doesn't work for most creators. It works for outliers, but most people cannot make a banger video, even if they spend a lot of time on it, because people who make banger videos have a team and they have money and they have resources. And if you don't have privilege, you can't start out that way most of the time. If you are broke, the only thing that really would work is you're broke and you're young. And if you're broke and young and you don't have responsibilities, maybe you can put in more time and learn how to make bangers because you're a kid in college or high school. But if you're an adult, which means you're probably the audience for watching my content, if you're an adult in your 20s or 30s and you're not in college, you have responsibilities, you have a 9-to-5 job, you cannot probably afford to make bangers because you don't have the time, you don't have the money, and your life doesn't work that way. So in doing the best you can with what you have where you are, your answer is to make good enough content in your niche, but where your standards, and that's why I say that, I'm talking about the production and editing has to be good enough production, good enough editing. You have to be just above mid with that. However, where you do put in the extra effort to shine is topic, title, thumbnail, timing, overall visual branding, so that you can look the part. Big creator energy, look the part, show up like you belong, and get everyone to understand you deserve more views, you deserve more subscribers, because if they didn't see the subscriber count, they would assume you were a big creator. If they didn't see the view count, they would assume it was a banger. That's what you want people to feel about your content. That's when I say the phrase big creator energy, that's what I'm talking about. And that's one of those phrases that I'm probably going to end up being known for, just like make your first 100 crappy videos. And the reason I say make your first 100 crappy videos is I'm not telling you to put out garbage. I'm telling you, you will feel embarrassed by your first 100 videos no matter what. Your first videos will be the worst videos you've ever made, and you will feel that way about them. They lay the foundation for you making good content and eventually great content. But it has to start with the ability to make 100 crappy videos without feeling ashamed of showing up, because a beginner has to earn their stripes. This is your tuition. This is your practice. It's your tuition to YouTube University, is to make your first 100 crappy videos, to learn everything along the way you can. And so that video 101, you can look and say, wow, I'm now able to make a good video. I'm glad I made 100 mistakes that I no longer have to repeat. So you're supposed to have a coal pile. You're supposed to have a crap pile of things that you did so that you can learn from your mistakes. And so if you've earned the right to make something good. And that's usually what it's going to take. If you weren't born with privilege or being a genius, you're probably going to have to go through the process. And hard work will not be cheated. yeah, 10 to 30 subs a day. The most obvious solution to send would be daily uploads. For me, that was the obvious solution I came up with. And for me, that's what got me to where I was getting my 100 subscribers a day, which then eventually became, 150 and then 200. And then that worked out for me. And when I had over 890 videos, when I had about 900 videos, that was enough videos to where I was getting about 300 subscribers a day. And what that did for me was I was able to get to 10,000 subscribers a month. And that lasted for about 3 years before I couldn't maintain doing daily uploads. It got to a point to where all I needed to get to about 100,000 a year, I got to a point to where 150 new videos would do it. And I had enough old videos to help carry me. So my evergreen army of content was churning like that, and it was working. But as life got more difficult and complicated over a period of time and different things happening in life, and I got older, I couldn't keep that going in my favor. And then when the pandemic happened, I got really depressed. And so I went from 150 videos a year to only 50 videos a year for like 3-4 years. And so then I was only able to grow by about 30 to 40,000 subscribers a year at best. So the thing is, my uploads went down by a third, and so did my subscriber growth. My momentum was directly tied to me showing up. So the thing is, even with this month in August, the views will not immediately blow up or explode. I have very modest expectations. However, using the law of averages and using the numbers, I know this. As I'll show you something. I know how my channel works, and everyone just has to learn how their channel works. So the thing is, in a 90-day period on my channel, what we know is this. We know that for my channel, that all I need to make almost $8,000 is about 360 views. And we know that all it takes is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 10 uploads in 90 days produces these results. So I'm going to upload 31 uploads in 31 days, and we should see numbers equal to or greater than this happen over the next 31 days. And I assume I'll get some momentum off of that. I don't know that I will be able to keep doing it after 31 days, especially since I will have 2 different speaking engagements in September and I think 2 in October that I have to do. But we'll see. I will probably do another 30-day sprint in November or December. We will see, especially since end of the year quarterly budgets will be in. So we'll see. But here's the hat trick. That's all this channel needs to do really, really, really well, as you can see. So if I just turn this 90-day outcome into a 30-day outcome, I'd be okay. 12 uploads between uploads and streams in a month should give me those results in a month. It's done it in the past. But this 30-day sprint is also going to shore up my numbers, and there could be outliers or bangers in those 31 days. So I'm just going to use the law of averages, brute force, and the magic of big numbers to my advantage. And that will yield something. And we'll see what that looks like. We're going to all be on this grand experiment together, right? So I just believe in leveraging the law of averages. And what I've seen throughout my career as a content creator is very simple. On a long enough timeline, and this is true in life in general, on a long enough timeline, overwhelming numbers tend to win in almost every situation if you throw enough of them at it. Everything falls before the might of numbers if there are enough of them. That's just what's been true in life. Air Sempi says, Roberto, it took me 3 years to get to 40K. This year I changed my niche and it took me 5 months to make it from 40K to 100K. Oh, congratulations. That's a big deal. Nice. Lotus Creation says, whenever I'm feeling discouraged, Roberto, I watch you and keeping it real and I find the courage to continue. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Look, actually, that's really hard. Like me, when I lost motivation during the pandemic, it made things hard for me and it slowed the momentum of my channel. But this is why it's important to be consistent and to keep going and to find ways to stay motivated. It's very important. Artist Stern says, hey, Roberto, so would you recommend posting more on social media to get your name out? I try to stick to topics I enjoy doing. So I try to do things I enjoy, but maybe not the thing I enjoy the most, because the things I enjoy the most don't necessarily equal going where I'm treated best. So I have a weird take on, you know how everyone wants you to make the YouTube videos you're most passionate about? I do not want you to make the YouTube videos you're most passionate about. I'm going to tell you why. I actually think following your passion is terrible advice for YouTube creators. I think it's horrible advice. I think you should be somewhat passionate about what you're working on, what you're posting, what you're doing, and that you should want to enjoy and watch that. But here's what I'll tell you. Instead of doing the thing you're most passionate about, go where you're treated best. If you're the most passionate about something, but the community that you're most passionate about treats you very badly, why would I tell you to follow your passion? If your passion leads you to a community that treats you badly, disrespects you, doesn't make you feel welcome, puts you down, doesn't show up for you, why would following your passion be good advice, and why would it make you happy? So I don't think you should follow your passion. I think you should go where you're treated best. So I would rather go into a community where I'm less passionate about that community, but they treat me better. They're nicer to me. They're kinder to me. They show up for me. They support me. So the thing is, I think you should go where you're wanted. So I would say when it comes to choosing an audience, choosing a niche, it's nice if you are passionate about it. You should at a bare minimum like it and enjoy it. But I think you should also learn to like who likes you back. So I would say it's important to go where you're treated best. And that's a harsh one for people to learn, and that's some real talk, but you go where you're treated best. So I would go into a niche where I have leverage. I would go into a niche where I'm respected, people have a great community that's supportive, and where I feel like I can add some real value and have an impact is much more important than going into the thing I'm most passionate about. And it takes a lot of people a long time to learn that. Some of it's growing up, some of it's maturing, some of it's changing what you value. But that's where I came into things. I was like, it's much smarter to go where you're treated well and where you make a difference than to just go in the place that you're most passionate about. Especially if where you're passionate about, they treat you poorly. You know? You don't want to go into a community just because you're passionate and then lose passion for it because people are not very kind or not very welcoming to beginners or are jealous of you or don't just have basic decency. And it's a good way to lose passion for the thing that you care about. And again, that won't happen to everybody, but it happens to a lot of people. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. There are a lot of niches that you could find yourself in, and then all of a sudden you realize, like, I know a lot of people, for example, that have left the anime community. I know a lot of creators that were successful that left the anime community because they felt like the culture changed on them and they didn't want to be a part of it anymore and they got burnt out. I know people who left the photography niche because of some issues with that, to where someone they respected was, and that they admired and was a hero to them, acted like a snob. Guitar meets science. Are you formulaic when making your intros and retention editing? For me, not as much. When I have been, it's worked to a degree. I now find that I'm just doing everything I can to just deliver the information in the best way possible. So I just focus on what's the best way to deliver the most information in the best way, in the most concise way, in the way that I think the learner can appreciate. I don't worry about retention editing anymore. But if I was an entertainer, if I was doing entertainment, I'd be worried about retention I'd be worrying about retention editing if I was an entertainer. If I was an entertainer and storyteller, then I'd be prioritizing that. I'm moving to the info dump side of education and just being a resource channel. And I've embraced being a resource channel. I do not care about getting 60% retention rates. I don't care about getting 10, 12, 20% click-through rates. I don't even care about getting a decent view floor. All I care about is delivering good information. So, but again, my only goal with YouTube, besides, making good money and, being able to make an impact, was I thought it'd be cool to get 100,000 subscribers when I was like a small YouTuber. I thought the play buttons were cool. My stretch goal was 500,000 and I got that a while ago. It'd be nice to do 1 million, but if I don't, I have some clients send me their play buttons. So I have a couple more silver play buttons coming. We've got a gold play button from a client in the gaming space. There's a couple more clients I can reach out to and get copies of their gold play buttons. So we'll probably have 2 or 3 more gold play buttons kicking around here at some point. So if I don't get a gold play button for this channel, I'll live, but we'll probably get it eventually. It might be years from now. It'd be nice. So subscribe, I guess, but it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. So for me, at this point, I'm just like, you know what? I want to put out the best information that I possibly can for creators, and I'm not going to worry about the editing for retention or doing these. I know they work and I know how they can be done, but my conflict with it is I just no longer believe that it serves the learner best. And so my perspective is basically at this point that I'm like, I want to optimize for the outcome for the learner instead of optimizing for what's better for my video right now. Not everyone needs to do that, and not everyone will feel that way. And I'm not trying to high horse or virtue signal. It's just that the older I get, it just becomes more important to me that the impact my content has is what I want it to be, instead of it gets me this view, this vanity metric, this thing that kind of matters only to YouTube and the YouTube community. Looking from the outside in, I want to feel a certain way about my content, but that might just be because I'm reaching a point in my life where my impact and the legacy I want is what my current point of view revolves more around than extracting status from the vanity metrics. I want a different type of status that comes from taking some form of credit for the impact I have on future creators that come up. And I think that that's going to be really important in the long term. So I'm playing a game that looks like nothing impressive in the short term, and I'm just making long-term bets. And the thing is, it's a risk either way. There are tactics I know that would work but I wouldn't feel good about them, if that makes sense. And I would rather do in my case. Now, again, the reason I can say that, even though to some degree I might recommend a different thing for somebody else, is but I already got what I wanted for the most part out of YouTube. So there's a difference. So there's a difference between how I will play the game versus how I would tell a young man or a younger version of me or a younger person how to play the game. So the thing is, my advice to a 20-year-old Roberto would not be to do what 40-year-old Roberto is doing. It would be to learn what 30-year-old Roberto understood and to optimize around his mistakes, but not to play the game like old man Roberto. See what I'm saying? So one of the things that people don't like about teachers and coaches is when they say, do as I say, not do as I do. But the reason your parents also do that is because there are things that make sense for where you are in life versus where the person teaching you is in life. So the thing is, you should not in your 20s mirror the habits of a man in his 50s or 60s. You can learn from his wisdom without mirroring his habits, because you should not do what a 60-year-old is doing because you have not earned those powers. You should learn from the lived experience of somebody in their 60s, though. And when they tell you, here's my mistakes and what I would do differently, and here's what I would do, and here's what you should do, I would take that very seriously. I wouldn't just analyze their life and say, well, you're not doing that. It's like, right, because there's a 40-year gap. So if that makes sense, then I hope I'm explaining that well. Rob Polensky says, do you think a sketch comedy channel can still find success on YouTube? I think the challenge with sketch comedy channels on YouTube is that I think that something vague like that does, without a specific unique value proposition, might struggle to find its legs on YouTube. I think it can be successful, but what's the gimmick? Comedy sketch channels on YouTube that have been successful weren't just, oh, hey, I'm funny, or hey, I want to do comedy. There was a gimmick. There was always a gimmick. The problem with comedy and sketch channels on YouTube is their lifespan is determined by a culture that keeps changing more and more every day, which means even if you did get a successful sketch comedy channel to pop off in 2024 and 2025, by 2026, you'll get canceled. That's the problem. See, comedy can't be evergreen anymore. The culture has shifted to where it's impossible for comedy to be evergreen anymore. Comedy doesn't even have a 2 to 3 year lifespan of being, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Non-problematic, I think is what the kids say. So anything that you make a joke about right now will be problematic in 3 years and get you canceled. That's the challenge with comedy. I think that the only way to really make it work is, I think, in the real world, you have to cut your teeth in the real world as a this is just my personal opinion. This may not be true. My belief, you guys can tell me in the chat or in the comments if you agree with this or disagree. My belief and stance when it comes to comedy is you have to cut your teeth in comedy clubs and stand-up in the real world, make a name for yourself in the real world, potentially have a viral moment in the real world, and post these live comedy sketches that show that you have the confidence and the things to do things in the real world on stage, and so then the real world that people aren't offended by you. Go viral. And then I feel like, because people will be searching for you from the comedy clubs in the real world and from like a viral potential moment, then that will give you the legs and momentum to then have an audience and a fan base that supports you. And that audience and fan base, because there was a real world thing tied to you, and because you're still doing comedy shows and going to clubs in the real world and doing stand-up, and hey, you're a stand-up comedian, you're not just some random person on the internet, but you're a stand-up comedian, legitimizes you as a comedian, which buys you the grace to be able to stand up to cancel culture and to have an actual following, and it be people not just that are terminally online, but from the real world that come onto the internet. And then any backlash against you only fuels the fire for your audience and your raving fans, and then that's working for you instead of against you. So that's my thought on comedy, is that I think that the foundation of a comedian on YouTube should probably be built in the real world now, so that you can say you are a comedian and that you stand up and you do in clubs and you do it in the real world and people aren't offended, and it's just people terminally online with brainworms that are offended. And then that even can fuel the potential for virality. I think if you decide that you're starting your comedian career on the internet instead of in the real world, I think that it just has less legs and less leverage, and I think it's easier to get canceled. I think you'll find you have a longer lifespan if you have an audience in the real world as a stand-up comedian. Lotus Creation says, question, Roberto, what resources would you recommend to find sponsors and affiliate programs available? I would say watch my live stream deep dive on brand deals and sponsorship, because it offers a lot of that information. So that could be helpful. I would also say you could check out my brand deal starter kit at awesomecreatoracademy.com. And I would say that those things would be really helpful. Geek Media Central says, Roberto, how are you doing this evening? I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. I've had a long day, but yeah. Never Before says, hey, Roberto, I've been watching your content and tweets for a while. It's been really helpful. I started a channel a month ago and already over 2K subscribers. Congratulations. Yeah, YouTube can be a crazy place. Agreed. Noctalon's Campfire says, hey, Roberto, I started making the prototype for my game, and I made a GIF of it to promote on social media. Congratulations. Keep the momentum going. I'm still holding you accountable. So you got the prototype. I want to see a game released, though. Geek Media says, as a channel with 150 subs, Roberto, is it better to follow the niche standards for thumbnails or spend extra time to stand out with thumbnails and titles? So I would look at the niche standards, and then I would build on top of them and try to exceed and surpass them. So I would try to say, okay, here's the standards for the niche. Now let me try and punch a little bit above that. And so that's where I would go. The Comic Pal says, hey, Roberto, big fan of yours for years. Your words have helped me a lot on this journey. Would you give any different specific advice to a channel that focuses largely on live conversational content? Yeah, if it's live conversational content, I would try to get some in-person guests, and I would try to do some of those things. I think that could be incredibly powerful. I would also really try to improve production. Better audio is always great for that. One of the other things I would do is see if there's any way to get some interactive component. If you're doing live stuff, see if there's any way to work in a call-in show so there's interactivity and there's constant returning viewers and repeat fans. I think that it could be incredibly helpful for you. Positive Academy says, I'm getting 1 subscriber per day. Hey, just work on doubling that. Abaddon Smith with a $10 super chat. Roberto, appreciate the dedication, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you. Fizzles Text Time, what's up? I was wondering where you were reading the comments from, LOL. Yep. Mikey agrees with me on the quote, go where you're treated best. Yeah, a lot of you are agreeing with me on the go where you're treating best instead of where you're passionate about. Al Phil says, hey, Roberto, or is this AI Phil? I think this is AI Phil. Question, Roberto, I want to pick a name for my channel and rebrand to this name, but what do you think? Any advice around that? Okay, so my advice on picking names for a YouTube channel. My advice when it comes to picking names for a YouTube channel is actually very simple. Your name should be easy to spell, easy to say, and easy to remember. Those are the 3 rules when naming your YouTube channel or naming a business. Is it must be easy to spell, easy to say, and easy to remember. Those are the 3 things. Those are the only 3 rules. Purple Blue says, Roberto, should you hire a videographer, editor, graphic designer for your first YouTube channel to outsource work? If you have the money and resources, then it could be a good idea. I believe that to some degree, you should still be involved in all of those things, because I just have a personal philosophy to where if you're going to be a boss, to some degree, you should understand what it is you're asking people to do, and you should understand the difficulty of that task and what it is involved in. And the best way to do that is to actually try to do it yourself and walk a mile in their shoes. So the thing is, a lot of people are for trying to get rid of all the work behind their YouTube channel and only make money off of it. That is a direction, and I'm not hating on it, but I just personally believe that you should get your hands dirty and be able to do the job to some extent that you're asking others to do, so that when you have to make demands of them, you do know what you're asking of them, and that to a degree you respect the difficulty of what you're asking them, and that they know that. So I find that that is incredibly helpful. So that's just one man's point of view. Melly, what's up? Melly Cinco says, my passion is music, but baking is what brings in income. Yep. And that's why you got to do what you got to do. Moxie Approved says, hey, Roberto, I did an 1.5-hour documentary that just got demonetized for just 2 seconds. In your opinion, is it worth it to delete that video and re-upload it minus the 2 seconds? Talk to Team YouTube and see what the issue is and if it's possible to get appealed on that. And I would also say that even though your big issue with it was it got demonetized, you might want to also straight up go ahead, and if you have a Patreon or a membership, upload there for people who are paying and drive some attention and traction to it. Leverage the demonetization as a rallying cry to get people to support you and to pay to see this. And now it becomes the documentary YouTube didn't want you to see. So while you're waiting to try to appeal it, what I would do is I would fight to appeal it and not change anything. And in the meantime, have that unedited, or rather unchanged version somewhere behind a paywall, and I would market it as the documentary YouTube didn't want you to see. Purple Blue says, are you kind of Dave Ramsey style on debt for creators? I'm anti-debt generally for most people. Most people cannot handle being in debt, and it would go very poorly for them. So I'm not as extreme as Dave Ramsey. I would rather people don't have debt. I'm okay with people owning and leveraging credit cards appropriately when they know it's something they could pay off just like that or very easily, and for 0 interest credit cards. And I'm a credit cards points guy. So I'm not as extreme as Dave Ramsey, but in a similar fashion, I am against creators going into debt to start their channel or borrowing money to start their channel. Critical Dreams Tech Support says, been a fan over the years, and your channel and other videos helped me a lot. Keep up the great content. Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. Appreciate you guys showing up for me on midnight on Friday. Cadu Ribeiro says, Roberto, do you think that monetization strategies for low CPM markets are similar to high CPM like Brazil versus USA? but still small, having hard times pitching brands. Their pay literally nothing. So my thought of this is, if you are speaking Brazilian Portuguese, I would use that to grow and be a local favorite and be localized and be a big creator in your language, in your niche, in your country. And then to make money, I would probably make a faceless YouTube channel in English and use AI to help me, but maybe not 100% AI. And so I would have a channel you do to be one of the biggest channels in Brazil. And then I would have a channel that makes you money in the US. Hey, Doug, appreciate you. Hope you get enough sleep to wake up for the Niman live stream tomorrow. Culture Club USA says, could you help a political parody, comedy, entertainment, satire channel, or not your wheelhouse? I've helped channels in news and politics, and I even helped a geopolitics channel grow and change their whole thumbnail style and do very well in YouTube successfully. I've helped some other mainstream political channels grow, or helped the people who are channel managers behind that. So successfully to nearly 1 million subscribers there. I've helped comedy YouTube channels. I'm familiar with the concept of political satire and comedy, like The Daily Show, for example. So I wouldn't say it's outside of my wheelhouse. I would say it has unique challenges in this particular political climate. In this particular political climate and election cycle, this particular channel would have a lot of challenges to overcome. Do I think that I'd be able to help? It depends on the nature of what help you need, but I do think that I'd be capable of that. The bigger problem is, no matter how good my strategy is, it wouldn't be able to deal with certain threats that kind of channel would face. And we'd have to be very careful and thoughtful about the strategy approach to policy and the interpretation of policy with regard to YouTube on that. My big consideration would be that this should also be something that's multi-platform and platform agnostic, so it doesn't rely on YouTube entirely. And I would have to also really consider how to make the business model work in case YouTube AdSense is not going to be viable. So those would be the assumptions that I would operate under in that particular thing. Eternally Love says, how old are you? Please don't answer if you're not comfortable. I just turned 40. But as the victor of Mortal Kombat, I'm clearly ageless. Moxie Approved says, as a stand-up turned YouTuber, this is 100% facts. Yeah, so Moxie agrees with me about the importance of having to build your comedy career in the real world, and that people would get canceled, for stuff 3 years. If something that's okay today will get you canceled in 3 years. So yeah. Nard Villain says, how do you feel about 90-second vertical videos with a nice thumbnail? I wouldn't see the point compared to just doing a vertical live stream. Malevolent Elephant, a longtime friend of the channel, says, Roberto, can you imagine George Carlin or Richard Pryor or Sam Kinison trying to do stand-up comics in this social climate? Yeah, no, it'd be a problem. ZoloQ says, another mistake is when I see a channel that has a weird name that's too long or with weird symbols, so it's hard to look up. Yeah, if it's hard to look up or search for or to remember, it's impossible. So I wouldn't name a channel that way, yeah. Roberto, can't he edit those 2 seconds out and still have it re-reviewed? He can edit it. I cannot guarantee that the review cycle will go very well. I also can't agree. I don't know that editing the 2 seconds, I can't guarantee that YouTube processes it well, because sometimes things go wrong there. And so I would rather the thing get fully appealed. And in the meantime, I think it's a great marketing opportunity to get people to pay to support and to drive fuel for controversy in the event that it does get fixed without having to fix the 2 seconds. So I think that never let a tragedy go to waste. As some very intelligent, very clever, much smarter than me person once said, never let a tragedy go to waste. So I would just use it in that way personally, because there's just a lot that goes wrong. I don't think he should have to cut the 2 seconds out. So I would then just try to appeal and then use the gap in between to effectively market for more support. Misunderstood says, hi, Roberto. Hi, how's it going? 58.4 subs in 7 months, monetized without a viral video, watched hours were excellent, but now I get no reach out of the blue. Any thoughts? Political, conservative, satire, parody, entertainment channel. Check and see if the videos are visible in restricted mode. There's a high probability they're not. And check and see if impressions have been completely nerfed. So I would check restricted mode. Purple Blue says, do you think it's better for creators to take on brand deals to start their own CPG brand, selling their own products instead of relying solely on ads? I think that Amazon's influencer program is more viable for most people, because if they're a smaller creator, they may not have the credibility to sell their own manufactured product to anybody. And so people will buy from a brand they trust that a creator recommends, instead of buying something from the creator if the creator hasn't earned that relationship just yet. So I think that to a degree, Amazon affiliate marketing, promoting an established brand and getting an affiliate commission would tend to work better than trying to start your own CPG brand, at least at the start. Fearless Nikki says, just getting here late. Are we answering questions from the chat? Yeah, we're doing a bit of that. We're doing a bit of Q&A. It's FAQ Friday, which now has become Subscriber Saturday. So yeah, we're doing that. Sci-Fi Fantasy World says, hey, everyone, finally pulled the trigger and set up my channel. Goal is to post my first video this week. Congratulations. Hopefully you're getting that done. Culture Club USA says, appreciate you, Roberta. I will set up one-on-one coaching. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate you. And again, I hope that we're able to figure out what's going on with your stuff. And again, I genuinely believe that it's important for your brand to expand beyond YouTube. I love YouTube. I don't think that anyone at YouTube does things with malicious intent at all, really. But I also do recognize that there is a hypersensitivity to just certain subject matter and topics. I mean, even Frankie over 50 here, who does completely wholesome content, just jokingly said the word chesticles once, and it restricted you for saying that. Hopefully it doesn't restrict me on this live stream for saying that just now, or I'll have to appeal and whine and cry to YouTube and tell them to stop it. But yeah, Mike Padilla says, Roberto, did you say the entertainment niche is the least profitable? No, not in and of itself. I said that there's barriers and things for some forms of entertainment that make it very difficult to monetize in specific ways. An example of this is, let's say you do an entertainment channel and it's anime. You cannot use their IP for print merchandise without risking your store being shut down by copyright claim, for example. If you did anime or television content, let's say it's anime. Companies like Shueisha in Japan don't acknowledge that fair use exists. So they could copyright claim or copyright strike your channel to all hell. They've threatened a lot of creators with this, like Geekdom 101 and Totally Not Mark. And a lot of people have been hit by this. So that's just one example. And that's just anime. There are other studios who shut down people for rumors and leaks and stuff like that. There's a lot of problems in certain varieties of the entertainment niche. So I think you understand why I would say that a lot of places in entertainment, it's harder for them to monetize, takes away a lot of options, and then their AdSense or even their whole YouTube channel can be threatened by copyright. This also happens in some gaming companies. Nintendo is famous for going after people. So if you just even look at anime, television, film, music, and gaming, there's a lot of outside threats to a creator who does that entertainment style of content right then and there. Those are like, I just named 5 different niches in entertainment that have massive external threats where they will not only demonetize you, but destroy your entire channel and destroy your entire livelihood. And to where you can't sell products based on the thing that you cover because someone else owns the intellectual property. So if you ever do hear me say something about like entertainment channels like that, in general, they're the most profitable channels in YouTube for the biggest creators in the niche. But for a lot of the small and mid-tier creators, they're constantly threatened with being absolutely annihilated. So there are barriers. If you do comedy, you have some problems with cancel culture or being restricted or demonetized. So that one's vulnerable too. Big external threat that's not your fault. So that's 6 niches that have a particular thing. If it's political commentary and satire, it's a form of entertainment. There's another one. So there's 7. Like, so there's 7 niches right there in entertainment that have massive existential threats that would destroy them. So saying those are often not profitable because they will be annihilated till there's nothing left is not an unreasonable claim to make. I'm not saying all entertainment or entertainment is not profitable or that's the least profitable overall, because the evidence says that, yeah, the biggest creators are in entertainment. Of course they are, because they're the broadest market. But that doesn't make it ideal just because the biggest creators are in entertainment for most creators to pursue that, or that that's the most profitable answer for most creators, because most creators do not have the clout, resources, and whatever to make that opportunity viable. Most creators, if they ever even make a little bit of traction there, are under threat, if anything. So that's just the reality of it right now for a lot of people, for quite a bit of them. So you could throw reaction channels in there as well, because they often cover any or all of the things that I just said, and so they would be under threat. Entertainment channels are the ones most vulnerable to demonetization, copyright claims, channel terminations, restricted mode, a number of things. Scruffy looking RGB says, hey, Roberto, ever plan on visiting Japan? Japan, Iceland, the Galapagos Islands, Thailand, specifically Nick Nimmin and Chiang Mai for that one, as well as Matt Diggity. So I've got some friends over in Chiang Mai. I would also say most likely, besides Iceland and Japan, Thailand, and the Galapagos, probably Egypt, as long as it's safe. Because of the pyramids, I would want to do that for sure. Probably. Not Paris the way things are going now. I wish, but not the way things are going now. I said Italy, if I'm not mistaken. I said Italy. Brazil, most likely. Not Venezuela the way things are going. Mostly, especially from a photography standpoint, Portugal. So Portugal. Oh, and Spain. Andalusia. So Spain, for sure. Spain. So Spain, Italy, Brazil, Iceland, Japan. Probably South Korea as well. Yeah. So those would be Roberto's big travel destinations. Maybe when certain things calm down, I would want to go to other places because ideally I'd want to see the 8 wonders of the world, but I would probably I want to see the 8 wonders of the world, but I have to probably figure out when it's most safe to do that. Yes, if you can. Joe's Phenomenal says, y'all should really think about attending Vid Summit in September if you can. Roberto will be speaking there too. Yep, I will be speaking there. It's going to be great. I'm going to be doing one of my best presentations of all time. So it's going to be really good. Fearless Nikki says, hey, Roberta, I'm filming tomorrow. Plan to launch my channel by end of the month. Congrats. I want to go live often. Will lives cut into shorts or help build a sustainable channel, or do I need to edit content too? You can do a multi-format strategy. Even I would probably be best served by being a multi-format channel. Embracing shorts is something I intend to do, but I need to, one, shore up the channel right now with evergreen content, which is part of this 31-day sprint. I need to try to keep to my live streaming schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because it's really great for building community. And a lot of that stuff actually goes big and suggested much later, and it earns really good ad revenue after the fact. So I need to do that. But I also need to get a bunch of regular edited videos out for me. But the thing is, even I should embrace shorts. And the thing is, none of these things hurt your channel. There's a perception that they hurt your channel because everyone decides whether their channel's doing well based on how well did my latest edited regular YouTube videos perform, is how everyone judges a channel. But that's actually the wrong way to look at a channel, and YouTube doesn't judge a channel that way. But most people do not understand how to judge the health of their channel. But there are things in analytics that actually tell you you're doing really fine. The problem is, it's not whether you know you're doing fine when you analyze your channel in the back end. People judge their YouTube channel based on how they feel other people will judge their YouTube channel. So that's why everyone makes their YouTube channel about how well are my long form video views doing and what's my view to subscriber ratio, because they know other people will judge them based on that, when that actually has nothing to do with how well your YouTube channel is doing. Like, that's not the actual thing, especially in a world where shorts exist now. That's view to subscriber ratio. View to subscriber ratio for uploads is meaningless in a world where YouTube shorts exist. It was already a bad metric to use anyway, but it's an absolutely worthless metric now that YouTube shorts exist. Now, I think people should embrace being a multi-format creator. And I think that, yes, shorts will inflate your subscriber count, but it's like, who cares? Subscriber counts are status. The fact that your subscriber count doesn't translate to how many views to expect on an upload, who cares? That's meaningless. And then as for, well, what about making money? Shorts don't make money. Yeah, exactly. Shorts don't make money, but they do grow your subscriber count. They do increase your overall lifetime view count, but that's also a status symbol. Subscriber count status is how you're filtered when brands are deciding who to work with. They go, all right, I need to work with creators with more than 10,000 subscribers, creators more than 50,000, creators with more than 100,000 subscribers. And then after they've picked the creators that they're going to look at to reach out for the campaign, that's when they're going to negotiate and haggle on your views, but they're going to filter you by subscribers first. First they filter you usually by, all right, do we need male or female influencers? Are we doing a beauty brand? Are we doing a tech brand? Do we need a mix of both? All right, I need 20 guys, 20 gals. Okay. So they first filter you on demographics of, okay, I need people for this thing. I need them to be this gender. I need them to be this age. I need them to live in this country. I need them to speak English. Do they speak the English? So they filter you based on demographics first, subscriber count second, then, and only then do they care about views. That's how the filtering for the software that the agencies use, the softwares that the brand and the agency use, is based on, first we filter by all these demographics, then we filter by subscriber count, then we'll reach out to creators, and then we'll haggle based on views. So that's why subscribers, when people say subscribers don't matter, people think subscribers don't matter because they're like, well, subscribers don't get me more views, so they don't matter. Subscribers don't make me more ad revenue, so they don't matter. YouTubers measure their channel through the wrong lens for their goals, because YouTube and YouTube culture is based on popularity and it's based on vanity. And therefore, people make everything in YouTube revolve around views. And I understand where they're coming from. They're like, well, without views, I don't get subscribers. And without views, I don't get ad revenue. So why wouldn't I focus on views? I understand that. But views are a means to an end, because subscribers are status. Status filters you into rarity, which means you even qualify for an opportunity because of the number of subscribers you do have. So then, yes, anything that does get you legitimate subscribers that are human beings is fine. It doesn't matter that they then don't commit to watching every video you upload, because that's just a subjective choice they're making, which you can't really control or condition past a certain point. So then if it comes down to money, brand deals and ad revenue aren't the only way to make money. Build a business model and diversify. Even repurpose your content across platforms. Stop worrying that, oh, I'm stealing a view from YouTube. You're not stealing a view from YouTube. You're getting a view for you, regardless of how you get it. So the problem I have is people romanticize YouTube instead of realizing that this thing is a tool and not a goal. I'm using YouTube to increase my opportunities to earn money and earn status that I can use for whatever my mission in life is. Is that mission create a better life for your family? Is that mission raising money to build a business that serves your community? Whatever it is, whatever your mission is. So if you look at YouTube as a means to an end instead of a goal, if you look at YouTube as a tool or a vehicle instead of a goal, it's a healthier way to look at YouTube. This is very hard for someone to do if they grew up worshiping YouTubers as a kid, though. So I understand for some people, not you, Nikki, but whoever, that is a maturity barrier for some people. But in that way, YouTube is like any other business. It's a means to an end. It is a way to serve a higher mission or calling of some kind. And so you just if you're me, then you just functionally reduce it, and you can now emotionally divest from how an individual video performs to some degree, because you can say, well, that's just one video. That's one foot soldier in the army of videos that's here to serve me. So I just look at videos from that standpoint. So no, I don't feel like shorts or lives hurt anything. They don't take away from your edited videos. All videos are just based on who wanted to watch them. And you should never take offense that just because someone subscribed to you that they didn't decide to watch a video. Also, I'll show you guys something really cool in my lifetime data. So in my lifetime data, something cool I can show you is the simple fact that, this is for that individual video. I want the data for everything. So in my data, what I can show you is the lifetime data on my channel. And in the lifetime channel data for my channel, I'll be able to show you something really interesting. See, for my entire channel's history, 80% of my views never came from my subscribers. So if I go to, let's see, when you go to watch time for subscribers, if you click on see more, so here we go. There's this part that shows you the views that came from your subscribers and your non-subscribers. If you look at the lifetime views from my subscribers versus non-subscribers, and I'm gonna make this bigger for you so it's easier to see. That's a little too big. 80% of my views in my entire channel lifetime, across 42 million views, 80% of my views came from people who were never subscribed to me. And only 20% of my views came from people who subscribed to me. And any of you can check that data on your YouTube channel the same way I did with advanced mode and lifetime analytics. This is proof that you need to understand that your subscribers are not your viewers, and that view to subscriber ratio is the most worthless metric any YouTuber ever came up with to justify how their channel is doing. because YouTube does not necessarily show your videos to your subscribers. And the people who watch your videos on average are not subscribed to you, which is how any YouTuber grows, because you would only grow if people not subscribed to you are watching. So it's really that simple. It's that simple. But again, the YouTube community invented this idea of view to subscriber ratios. We all lived with it. We all went, okay, that's a thing because big YouTubers said it. And yeah, even me. So there you go. The data will indicate to any of you on your own channel that view to subscriber ratio is a worthless metric, because for it to matter, you'd have to actually be able to prove that YouTube was showing your videos to all of your subscribers. Is it? Well, no. So if YouTube's not showing your videos to 100% of your subscribers, then view to subscriber ratio per upload of views is a worthless metric. Mike Padilla says, hey, what about the hip-hop interviewing niche, criminals, rappers, entertainers, legends? If you can package it right and package it well, and if you can convince the people you're interviewing to promote it on their platforms, then that could be a good opportunity. I would argue the long-form interviews of that would be good, and then you use shorts and clips to boost the signal and to get more people to watch. Culture Club USA with a $10 super chat. Thank you again, Roberto, for addressing my questions. See you on the one-on-one coaching. Appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. Fearless Nikki says, Roberto, you dropped the mic at least 3 times now. Yeah, at least, right? Yeah. Yeah, I actually started really late tonight. I had some stuff I had to take care of, but it's all good. Yeah, we're just doing a chill, super late night stream across 6 platforms. We got like 600 of you all. So hi. So that's pretty dope. Phil says, hey, Roberto, you got any advice for getting better at narrating and improving when talking to recording? Well, aside from practice, one of the things that helps better with narrating is being able to do storytelling and summarize thoughts. And sometimes just practicing and talking it out, of course, works, but sometimes writing down your ideas. One of the reasons I'm able to deliver so well in live streams and naturally is because I actually write a lot. And anyone who follows me on Twitter, and if you're not, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Anyone who follows me on x.com, formerly Twitter, knows that I'm constantly ADHD dumping all of my thoughts and spurging on Twitter. And the reason I do that, though, is because it means that I'm expressing and communicating myself in a way that's very direct. And as a result of doing that, I don't have to worry about whether I know how to express myself when it comes to speaking, because I actually think that your ability to speak well is derived from the ability to write well. So by working on my writing, I become better at communicating, expressing myself, and making my thoughts more coherent. So the thing is, getting an authentic, unpolished version of my thoughts written down means that I'm able to refine my speech, which means I'm able to articulate better, summarize better, get to the point, make it punchy, because I got my practice rounds in by writing it out. Out of drinks. Oh. So yeah. Let me take a quick break, you all. This will be a very quick break for me to go get some much needed water here for my voice. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put on one of the tracks that I have from Zenbuster Music. It's a faceless music channel that I run on YouTube. After the stream, especially since it's late at night, feel free to go to Zenbuster Music on YouTube and check it out and use it to get to sleep. You can throw on like my 10-hour music loop of a mixtape that I made to help you sleep or to reduce anxiety. Here is one of the tracks from that. I'm gonna go take a water break. All right, and I'm back hydrating. The center says, Roberto, you are awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no, appreciate all of you. This has been a great stream. Welcome back. Yep. Bible and the Beats says, Roberto, how long does it take YouTube to push a video? Also, do they use a 3-arm bandit model? So good question. YouTube doesn't push videos at all. It pulls instead of pushes. So what does that mean? So use the concept of attraction here. Actually, by using the concept of how attraction works, will probably help everyone grow their channels. So the thing is, it's predicated on what people will respond to. YouTube's a responsive system. As a result of being a responsive system, it doesn't really push so much as pull. So what do I mean by that? All a video can do is show up in front of people. It either pulls them in and attracts them enough to get them to take action, or it doesn't. Based on how many people react and respond to the opportunity that's presented, and at what rate, what consistency, and what frequency, then determines the performance of a video. The initial performance review of a video has multiple cycles and it never really ends. That's why some of my videos get views and get the most views they've ever gotten 6 months after I've uploaded them. Usually, if I wait 100 days, I'll know whether a video is really going to make it or not, because a lot of my videos don't take off until 100 days after I posted them. It's wild. In fact, actually, I'll show you the data of the video that I wanted to share earlier. So this video, if I use its lifetime as the data, let's look at this and let's zoom out slightly. Since upload. Okay. So the initial views of this video, look at this. Look at how this video did. This is a video that has 700,000 views, by the way. 700,000 views on this video. Look at the impressions and look at the click-through rate. So everyone always thinks, oh, I need this big old click-through rate. No, you don't. So look at this video. This is a replay of a 3-hour live stream, by the way. And then look what happens. Oh, wait. Boom, 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 boom. And this is the impressions. Sorry, this is the views. This is the views on the video. Oh, boom. Boom, 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 boom. By the way, this video did great with the algorithm. Look at this. This is the algorithm. This funnel here is the algorithm. So this video did really well. So YouTube can take its sweet time when it comes to your video hitting with the right audience. But that could also be external factors and timing and culture and any number of things. But the thing is, and this video is still doing well. This video is still doing well, getting 1,000 views a day. This video is still getting 1,000 views a day. This video is going on 2 years old and some change, still doing 1,000 views a day, killing it. This might be a 1 million view video one day for all I know. This video has made $10,000 in ad revenue in its lifetime. It's 2 years old. It's still killing it and getting views. It got me 5,000 subscribers. And again, the click-through rate is abysmal. The click-through rate's abysmal. And it's an average click-through rate, by the way. So the thing is, there are times when its click-through rate is really good, but it's average across all of its, time. And so hit or miss there. But you don't need some double-digit click-through rate. You don't need, whatever anybody tells you, you don't need some double-digit click-through rate to get hundreds of thousands of views. This is almost a 1 million view video. Yeah, it took 2 years to get those views, but who cares? It got them. So YouTube can take forever with this. Because, again, if you look at this video wasn't hitting until, almost a year after it was uploaded is when it really started hitting. This is why I support evergreen content so much, is because it has an infinite opportunity. So I don't see, I don't care about getting views in the first 7 or 30 days at all. I don't care about that at all. I just care about winning the long game, because I can just infinitely win if I play long games. So I prefer long games because I can also just emotionally divest from short term. As long as I win, I don't care. So it can take its sweet time. I just have to be patient, which is really hard for most people. I will admit that. And again, the audience for this, not subscribed. Yep. The audience for this, not subscribed. So again, we overestimate some of these things. And again, so it's not that subscribers don't matter. It's that from the perspective of getting views, they don't. From the perspective of getting views, they don't. From the perspective of getting opportunities, it does. Alphil says, does it hurt to have 42 views and the next video be 40K views. I have regular views being up 10K, but that one video failed. I'm scared the algorithm will punish me. The algorithm doesn't punish you. I wouldn't be superstitious about that. Now, with that video getting 42 views, something went wrong. I would try deleting that video and maybe re-uploading it, because if you're getting, if the next video got 40K views, something feels like it went wrong with that 142 video. So I would consider deleting that video. Oh, but make sure you have the original source, but I would consider trying to re-upload it at some other point, because I do feel that something went wrong. Glitches do happen. Glitches happen. Nerdware says, hey, Roberto, what type of advice would you give someone starting in an AI tools tutorials channel for someone that has a master's in artificial intelligence? Great question. Great question. So here's the thing. If you had a master's in artificial intelligence, I'm not sure that I would do a tutorial channel on AI tools. If I had a master's in artificial intelligence, what my approach and my belief would be is I would do video essays and commentary. I would do video essays and commentary about people's concerns about AI. And so the thing is, you could do two options really with this. You can go the Cleo Abrams route. You can go the Cleo Abrams route and go with the most optimistic, hopeful, thoughtful view on how AI technology and artificial intelligence and automation will improve human beings' lives, help us be happier, healthier, improve the economy, make the world a better place. Or you can go the opposite route and write really great narrative video essays that explore our darkest fears and what's really possible and things that people don't understand that your background gives you insight into. And I feel either of those could be extremely compelling content. And while most people will attempt to do tools and tutorials, while that's not saturated right now, in my opinion, and not saturated with quality, a lot of people will gravitate toward doing that. And it will be harder and harder to stand out as an AI tools, AI news, or AI tutorials channel. However, your background, because you have a high level degree and insight and credibility, and because being a master's in and achieving a master's means you probably had to become a good communicator and a good writer, means that you'd be able to stand out because you'd be able to write deep dive topics backed by research. But the key that you'd have to do is, instead of just sharing statistics, you'd have to tell stories. And so you would have the power to be this wonderful narrative channel, in my opinion, this faceless narrative channel that can do amazing storytelling and reach people on an emotional level that are fascinated by this. And you are the real deal because of your background. So the thing is, my answer to anybody for YouTube is figure out what your unfair advantage is. A master's degree in artificial intelligence, in my opinion, gives you an unfair advantage called you're the smartest person in the room on the subject. So when you can be the smartest person in the room in the subject, that's the advantage. I don't go generic when I'm exceptional. You know, because the thing is, someone with no background and no degree can make an AI tools and tutorial channel. I could make an AI tools and tutorial channel. But the thing is, and I could compete with you, and I could probably win if I compete with you on that, even without the degree. Here's the thing, though. I could never compete with you in a narrative essay channel that explores either the great bounty of what AI can do for us or our darkest fears brought to life. I could never defeat you in something that requires that level of thoughtfulness, research, and the background that you have. I could never beat you in that. If we just make tutorial channels, I've done a tutorial channel before. This was originally a tutorials channel. I could possibly compete with you and win in spite of your education if we compete on tutorials. I cannot compete with you on thoughtful narrative essays about the subject matter. You are the ultimate subject matter expert. So I would put myself in a lane where nobody has what you have. And in general, that would be my thesis of YouTube is how can someone become a destination channel? How can you become a destination channel? What could you do that would make it impossible to compete with you? Us Plus Dad says, Night Rhoda, I'll watch the replay in the morning after Doug and Nick. Yep, absolutely. How do you analyze what went wrong with a video if it's not taking off? I would look at the impressions and click-through rate, but mostly the impressions to see if it something went wrong. All right. So I think that's going to be it, you guys. It's been a long night. Thank you for hanging out with me for the Night Owl edition of the stream. I'm going to let all of you go so that you can wake up tomorrow and enjoy Doug Hewson and Nick Nimmin for the community streams there for Saturday morning. I also plan on releasing a very lengthy video tomorrow. It's going to be an incredibly powerful video. It's going to be 12 years of my advice on business, making money online, and passive income in 90 minutes. And it's basically going to tell you how I went from being broke in my 20s to making over $300,000 a year in my 30s. And that's just because since I turned 40 this year and the year's not over and we haven't crossed 400,000 in gross revenue yet, I can't say how I went from being broke in my 20s to making 400K a year in my 40s. I can't officially say that yet. So I had to kind of be like, okay, the narrative here is here's 12 years of my knowledge in 90 minutes and the story of how I went from being broke in my 20s to 300K in my 30s. And so that's the video that I'm dropping tomorrow. It still needs some editing and seasoning. So my goal is to drop it before the end of Nick Nimmin's stream on Saturday. And so that's the goal. How often do my live streams happening? We try to do is monetization Mondays, workshop Wednesdays, and then FAQ Fridays. And we try to do that. They usually are not midnight streams. We try to usually do them around 6 or 7 p.m. But yeah, so that's it on my end, everybody. Have a great night, and we will catch you next time. Normally, I end with my book trailer for my book, Create Something Awesome, How Creators Are Profiting from Their Passion in the Creator Economy. But tonight, because it is a late night, we're going to end the stream with some music. And like I said, if you want to check out this music and other music tracks, you can check out Zen Buster Music on YouTube. And you can throw that on whenever you need a good night's sleep. We got some really great lo-fi tracks to help you with sleep, anxiety, and just chill out. So make sure you're checking that out. The more you guys listen to it, especially if you're trying to go to sleep, the easier it is for me to finish remonetizing that channel. All right, everybody, stay awesome. Enjoy this mellow track.